My name is Matt Friedman, and I'm a modern-day abolitionist. Last summer, my wife Sylvia and I did a 70-day, 27-city road trip across the United States. On June 17th, we started in Vancouver, Canada, and by August 25th, we ended in Hartford, Connecticut. As part of this trip, we did 112 presentations to nearly 4,000 people within corporations, schools, churches, libraries, Rotary clubs, and a range of government offices. While our initial objective was to raise awareness in an effort to spark an abolitionist movement among the participants, within the first 20 days, it became clear to us that we were learning so much from this adventure that we felt a need to document our experiences. With this in mind, I'd like to share just a few of our observations and conclusions. The good news is we found many highly dedicated people across the country who deeply cared about this issue. This is clearly a topic that is close to the hearts of many Americans. We also found there were many organizations doing excellent work to create awareness, go after the criminals, and offer much needed services to the victims. We were inspired by this. Having said this, we also observed some challenges that appeared to prevent the counter-trafficking community from reaching its full potential. This included a lack of standardized data to understand and address the problem, the absence of a unified plan to offer a roadmap forward, limited collaborative systems and procedures among many of the most active responders, confusion related to the leadership structures at both the state and federal levels, and finally, disincentives to involve the business world to step up and get involved. None of these challenges are insurmountable. In fact, most of them can be significantly improved with some minor tweaking. For this to happen, we need to spend more time understanding, analyzing, contemplating, and visualizing a way forward. In other words, much of what is needed is to simply take what already exists, connect the dots, and facilitate a process forward that allows us to reach our full potential. To bring about these changes, I feel there are three categories that need immediate attention. Number one, information, which includes improving our data collection and analysis. Number two, people, which includes supporting the people who do the work. And number three, services, which includes combining our efforts through better collaboration across all the players. To better understand how we bring about major breakthroughs with our existing efforts, I'll walk you through each of these categories in more detail. Our first priority must be to expand and improve our collection and use of human slavery data across the USA. This includes gathering standardized information related to the victims, indicators of vulnerability, the criminal behavior involved, and the legal response. This data would help us to understand what we need to know about the problem and how to effectively address it. It would allow us to track the impact of our work over time and update and improve our training and awareness raising efforts. Time and time again, we have seen that it is a major mistake to try to solve a social problem without having appropriate data. Without it, we are planning and responding in the dark. There are four challenges we face related to this data. First, there appears to be no standardized data collection format. Second, even if there is no central data repository to analyze and disseminate it. Third, many organizations are resistant to share their information out of fear it will give others a funding advantage. Finally, many groups don't know the value of applying good data to their work. To address these information challenges, there are three things that need to be done. First, we need to work with the research community to develop a standardized data collection format and platform for multiple data sets. Once designed, this needs to be shared with the anti-slavery community to get their inputs and acceptance. Second, we all need to agree on an independent repository for the data. This should be a neutral organization that is willing to take the data, analyze it, and freely share the results. This might be a university or an independent NGO. Finally, we need to encourage the NGO community to understand the importance of standardizing and using this data to address the problem. This often requires face-to-face meetings to discuss their issues and concerns. Let's face it, we will all be stronger when we are using a common data set. For example, one important use of data would be to determine which U.S. states are still sending 14-year-old girls who are working in prostitution to jail instead of identifying them as trafficking victims. This would help to identify where lobbying and training is most needed to change laws and police protocols. This intervention alone would serve to help victims and at the same time put perpetrators in jail. This is one among many strategic uses. People are the most important asset available in our fight against human slavery, period. To bring about a significant change, we simply can't afford not to invest in our people. One thing is very clear. We haven't spent enough time supporting those working to fight slavery. Many of them put their heart and soul into their efforts, only to face a lack of appreciation or an endless list of unrelenting tasks. Others spend countless hours trying to raise money to keep their organizations alive. As a result, the burnout rates among counter-trafficking responders is very high. We need to change this trend. Investing in our responders is an investment in us truly solving the problem. We also need to expand beyond NGO and government responders to include more church, school, corporate, and general public participants. Many people want to help, but they don't know what to do. For this to happen, we need to outline more specific calls to action for every sector. To add value to this component, we need more training and mentoring through continuing education. For example, we are seeing that many organizations come up with their own internal training programs for their staff. This takes a lot of time and often results in a great variation in the content and information available. More effort should be made to ensure that training programs are standardized, up to date, and available for the full range of responders. To tackle this challenge, one or more lead organizations could be tasked with developing these materials and making them available to everyone. This might include online training programs or short educational films. These materials should highlight both what works and what doesn't work. We also need to decide how to tap into new networks. For example, during the corporate presentations we made during the road trip, we found many employees interested in the topic and willing to step up. Likewise, during our discussion with corporate leadership, we realized that there was currently huge untapped potential for market-led solutions to crowd out much of the exploitative practice that underlies modern-day slavery. The biggest challenge they faced was not knowing what to do. Working with this community to answer these questions would open up a new front in the fight against this problem. Once again, these are but a few of the possible options in this category. The last category, services, focuses on the organizations that are doing the counter-trafficking work. This includes the NGO, government, law enforcement, church, and school-based efforts being implemented. The emphasis of this component is on establishing expanded and sustained collaboration among potential partners. At present, many anti-human trafficking efforts are being done in isolation. Instead of working in collaboration, many committed organizations tend to do their own activities independently. This is a missed opportunity. The main reasons for this lack of collaboration often include fear that working together will offer other organizations a funding advantage, interagency differences in perspective and approaches, and a lack of understanding of the importance of collaboration in general. For us to truly achieve major breakthroughs, we must find a way to change this existing trend. If collaboration is done correctly, 1 + 1 = 11, not 2. There is a synergistic effect that adds great value to the overall response. Effective collaboration can bring about better linkages between organizations. The importance of linking activities can't be emphasized enough. For example, a fully functioning counter-trafficking community ensures that the victims are given support from the moment they are rescued to the point at which they are fully recovered. This often requires multiple organizations to work and plan together as one. Focused, sustained collaboration is the only way to bring this about. Collaboration also allows the entire community to share best practices and lessons with each other. This helps to avoid everyone reinventing the wheel. Finally, good collaborations allows the counter-trafficking community to achieve a foundation of support that helps us all to realize that we are not alone in this fight. For these three efforts to work, we need a unified plan. This plan will offer a roadmap forward, something we can all rally behind and implement together. This simple matrix identifies how the pieces come together. To assist in this essential process, we need neutral, committed counter-trafficking ambassadors and coaches who can work with the entire community to bring about these breakthroughs. The initiatives that are outlined in this video can be done easily without extensive resources. The intent is to take what already exists and get the most out of it, to ensure that every dollar, every activity, every person, and every program reaches its full potential. To me, the modern slavery issue is like a slowly unfolding disaster. But it is a disaster nevertheless. We all need to step up our game. We need to solve many of these long-standing systemic challenges. We need to have more of a sense of urgency, and we need to do it now. Why? Because we are only helping 0.2% of the victims, and because every day there are 45.8 million victims who wake up and ask the question, why is no one coming to help? We need to be this help. Thank you.